Hey friends, welcome or welcome back. My name is Laura, and today we're going to do a knit and chat. I don't think I've ever knit on camera before, so this is a little new. I went ahead and cast on my stitches, just so I wouldn't be counting, because that's boring. I haven't knit in a while, to be honest. This is what we're making. It'll look something like this. The colors will be a little in different spots, but it's double-stranded. This is the hat I always make. It's a double-stranded knit beanie, but it's excuse me. It has a faux brim. So the brim is ribbing, 1x1 ribbing, and then it's just knit up here, but it's all nice and plush and squishy and nice. So I'm just not a big fan of doing the ribbing all the way up and then having like a brim like this. I've done it before. I do have hats like that for sale, but I find this to be much more relaxing, being able to do the ribbing just at the bottom and then the rest be knitting. So, and because it's knit in the round, it still has the knit purl look to it. Let's see, how does this work? Make sure we're all going in the same direction. Eventually I will have a pattern out for this. I'm slow. Honestly, I'm not a good pattern writer. I always think it needs to be really complicated and detailed, and like it really doesn't. You know, I don't need, when I write patterns, I don't need to assume that the person doesn't know how to knit or crochet to begin with. I think that's my problem. I try to like accommodate for everyone, and I just need to write the pattern and be done with it. So how have you all been? I haven't been great. Yesterday I fell, which is not a normal thing for me. There's these steps that go up to my parents' house, and they're quite deep. They're not normal step size. They're not, or standard step size. And I just tripped. I tripped going up the steps. So I am pretty banged up. My right arm has a very large bruise on it, and it hurts. And my left knee is very banged up. And my right hip is banged up. I hit lots of areas on the way down, and it's unfortunate. This first row is always the hardest. Just finish this first row, make sure I did all the stitches right. I should land on a purl. If not, I will redo it off camera and save you all the grief of watching me redo the cast on row. Oh, we're good. Knit, purl, and then straight into knit, purl again. So my pattern, which I will just tell you, is 3 inches of knit, purl, and total from the bottom to the top before you start doing the decreases is 8 inches. So 5 inches of just knit. So much easier the second row. It's not as tight. As you can see, I knit English style, which is considerably slower than continental. I try to go fast. Of course, if you go too fast, then you make mistakes. I knit much faster just knitting instead of knit purling. I mean, I'm sure everybody does. So the top half of the hat goes much faster than the bottom, the brim. I thought about getting like cute little tags to put on my work. I've seen people do that, and it'd be good for the bags, but I wouldn't want to put it on these hats because it doesn't have a folded brim. Like, you'd have the tag right here, and then the inside of the tag would be hitting your forehead or your head or something. Like, what if you didn't have any hair? That'd be hitting your scalp. And it's like, that doesn't sound comfy cozy to me. Let me know what you guys are working on. Are you knitting? Are you crocheting? Are you embroidering? Are you painting? Are you coloring? What are you doing? We're just going to work on this for a little while, maybe see if we can finish the brim. I have the fan on me, so you can probably hear that. It's just a little warm outside right now. For those of you who are new, I live in a coastal town on the west coast in Southern California, and because I live in a coastal town, it typically doesn't get terribly hot. It can get hot, but not like, it usually doesn't get like in the 100s or even in the 90s. It usually caps out in the 80s or low 90s if it gets to that. But it's been pretty mild so far compared to the rest of the country or the rest of the world. Speaking of the rest of the world, I'm working on figuring out if I can feasibly do international shipping on my store. So I know that would be super expensive for the person buying it. I just want to make sure that I have like any can't remember what they're called, the numbers that you need to say like what kind of product you're shipping. I just need to know and make sure I have all of that. I have some international stamps for stickers already, and I just need to work out like bigger stuff like this. Make sure I have everything I need. I have, since I already ship nationally, I have, you know, poly mailers for them. Sorry if I keep going out of frame, I need to just move you a little bit that way. I can't put my arm down right here because it hurts. So I'm just kind of hovering over the desk. And I keep pulling it closer to myself because I'm used to having the work really close to me. I don't know how many more of these hats I'm going to be able to make. I've made 2. But I'm using 2 different skeins of yarn. I'm using a Karen Blossom Cake in the green color, whatever that is. And let's see, hang on. A Loops and Threads Impeccable in the color Green Lagoon, which is this one. And then the Blossom Cake is this lovely green color. Do I have the Blossom Cake in here too? No, I don't know what color the Blossom Cake was. At one point I collected a lot of Blossom Cakes because I just had grand plans of making lots of stuff with them, and then I didn't, and now they're being turned into hats. And let me tell you, they make really nice hats. I'm quite pleased with how these green hats are turning out, but I'm going to run out of the Green Lagoon before the Blossom Cake, and I don't know when I'm going to Michael's next. They're both from Michael's. I do have a $10 reward for Michael's, so I do need to go. But it's not the closest store to me, and gas is very expensive, particularly where I live. Gas is like at least $5 a gallon, and you gotta make like your trip worth it, you know? Are we doing anything for 4th of July? Are we watching fireworks or, you know, stuff like that? Barbecuing? I don't know what we're doing. I am skipping the fireworks this year. That has never happened before. We used to be able to go down like a few blocks from where we live and get kind of in an area where there weren't as many trees and watch the fireworks, because they do fireworks at the beach, and we used to be able to watch it from there and be, you know, just walk home. But in the last couple of years, they I believe it's like a budget issue. They're deeply in debt, and the city, and I believe they picked out fireworks that don't go as high. That's my theory. So we haven't been able to see them. So last year we actually went on top of a parking garage, which everybody else thought was a good idea too, because there were lots of people there. There was people with their, in their back beds of the trucks, sitting, and people brought chairs, and somebody had their car open and their music on full blast for everyone to hear until the fireworks started. It was a fun time. It was kind of like a block party. But I'm going to skip it. I have become a very comfy, cozy person, and all I want to do at any time past 7 o'clock is be at home in my pajamas, in bed, on my laptop, watching YouTube. I don't want to do anything else. So I don't want to go. It's loud, it's chaotic, it's kind of a sensory overload, and I'm just not feeling it. So I'm gonna pass on that this year. My birthday is right after 4th of July, so like within the week after 4th of July, so we'll be doing something for that. I think we're just going to pick up there's some places around here that do really good tri-tip. I think we're going to pick up that and then make some sides, like macaroni salad or potato salad or something. I decided I want cheesecake from my cake this year, which is abnormal for me, but that's just what I'm feeling. Check this. It's a better idea. Okay, so don't do what I just did. Make sure you check early on, like the second row or something, and make sure you're still making rows and not just, make sure they're in the right row. Make sure your purl row and your knit row are in the right place. I didn't think to check. They're good, but better to check early on and not get too far along and have to come back and have to knit backwards. And there is a way you can tell which one you're supposed to be on if you're knitting and purling. There's two ways. One, where if you're knitting English style, where your yarn is. If your yarn is over here, it needs to go into the back, and then your next row is a knit. And then if it's in the back, it needs to go into the front, and it means your next, you can't see anything I'm doing. How long have you not been able to see anything? Okay. Purl. Okay. Your yarn's in the front, moving it to the back. That means it's a knit. Yarn's in the back, moving it to the front. That means it's a purl. You can also look at the other side over here. If it's got this twist right here, it's a knit. If it's got this little extra bump, it's a purl. That's just tips. Sorry you haven't been able to see anything. I know I keep pulling it towards myself. It's because my arm hurts. I can't rest my arm on the desk, and I'm trying to make myself comfortable, and it's not working. not usually this out of frame, so don't take this as, I know this is my first like knit and chat on the channel, but I'm not normally so out of frame when I do other things on my other channel. We want to get to 3 inches. I don't know if you can hear that, the air conditioning came on. I don't think we're going to get to 3 inches in this sitting, but we're getting pretty far along. We're like maybe 2 inches in before my arms give out holding this up. Are we watching any TV right now? I'm watching Practical Magic, the movie, because I've never seen it, and I know the second one is coming out. About halfway through. I'm super stoked that a new Hocus Pocus is coming out maybe next year. So that's really cool. That's like my favorite movie of all time. And I loved Hocus Pocus too. All right, we're gonna call it good for now. A good way to know if you're at the end of a row is where your tail is. So like I'm halfway through a row right now. So if you're trying to, it's good for the decreased rows, and if you don't want to have to put a stitch marker on, you can just use where your tail is to let you know where you are in the row. I'm going to go ahead and finish this row. Not so important for this part of the hat. hoping I can get 2 more hats out of these skeins before one of them runs out. It's like this hat and 1 more. I'll have to weigh my yarn when I'm done and see how much I have left over and just kind of make a guess if I think that's enough for another hat. Okay. We're back at the beginning. We're not at 3 inches yet. We're at 2 1/4. So we're close. When you get to 3 inches for this, you do just start knitting. And because it's in the round, it creates this V, the V's. And then on the inside, it creates the bumps. And we'll continue to work on this. If we don't continue to work on this one, if I finish it, we'll start another one. So I do just want to keep making them and getting them ready to go. I know it's only June, or at the very end of June, it's June 30th. So, you know, at some point I have a bunch of hats to list. So at some point I need to list them and have them available for when it starts getting cooler in the other parts of the country. It won't get cooler here like that, but such is life. So thanks for joining me. So I will see you all again very soon. Bye.